And the attorneys for the Schroeder Bank, which was one of the chief connecting banking operations, was a law firm in New York, Sullivan and Cromwell, and their leading attorneys who worked with the Nazis was John Foster Dulles and Allen Dulles. John Foster Dulles, Secretary of State under Eisenhower, the guy that brought us the Vietnam War, and Allen Dulles, of course, who was one of the longest-running CIA directors, who then sat on the Warren Commission to determine what happened to John Kennedy.
If you bloggers self-organize and attach yourself like leeches to specific issues, corporations, organizations, challenges, whatever, you will be the intelligence Minutemen of this century. The power is in your hands. There aren't enough guns to kill us all, and Halliburton can't build the jails fast enough to keep us down. Bloggers, as Linux is organized, where you grab onto an issue or something and you are part of a structured citizen journalism blogging thing that lets no evil doing go unnoticed, that rules. So I think we're at a turning point. I think we're at the very beginning of a historic tidal shift in power, restoring the Constitution. I don't know how many of you are following this, but the Comptroller General has told Congress the United States of America is insolvent. We're out of Schlitz. We literally have no money to make it to the next decade. Now, there's some very easy solutions. I could eliminate all income taxes tomorrow and have more than enough money to fund the government by using some other guy's bright idea. We tax the Federal Reserve at 0.0006, doubles our money until we decide to put them out of business permanently, because we certainly should not have central banks. We've put together an electoral reform pledge. And it's my view that any member of Congress, any member of the Senate that refuses to sign both the constitutional pledge supporting the Constitution and the electoral reform pledge should be put out of business. And I believe that will be 95% of all of these people. It may be time to literally dump Congress on its ass and start over. The government has gotten stupid to the point that it can't write a statement of work. And so they ask the contractors to write a statement of work, and the contractors write a statement of work saying, you need more of what I haven't been able to sell. And the government says, oh yeah, right, good. Put it in the budget. This is real shit. I can crack all 10 of the top-level threats to humanity in less than 25 years for less than 1/3 of what the world is spending on the military. Blog that. And I will tell you the price of buying back the United States government, it's $500 million a year. In the early 90s, Newt Gingrich and the Republicans got together. Their plan is now on the street. It's been exposed by a Columbia professor. They concluded that they could buy the United States government from school board to State House to White House for $300 million a year, and by golly, they did. And every single member of Congress is impeachable for having abdicated their Article I responsibilities under the Constitution and serving as foot soldiers.
And try to wake people up and impart this knowledge to them, and find out that they just have walls built in front of them. They want to be slaves. But we're making some chinks in those walls. You too can have a free press, and that's what it's going to take to get this country back without bloodshed. And I'm going to tell you right now, unless we can be successful in creating a real free press, where the American people get different viewpoints other than those expressed in the establishment-controlled media, there's going to be a civil war in this country, and it's going to come soon. The only thing that can stop it is by waking up vast amounts of sleeping people. Sheeple is what they are. They are following the Judas goat right into the shearing pins, and from there they will go to the slaughter, and they will not know that anything is wrong until they smell the blood of the sheeple in front of them. That's why in a White House memorandum I was named as the most dangerous radio host in America, not because I'm going to go out and shoot somebody, but because I shoot documented facts which cannot be refuted. That's why. That's what's dangerous. Seek ye the truth, and the truth will make you free, and nothing else will do it. Jesus Christ has never lied to anybody. Why won't you listen to him? Don't spread a rumor. Spread the truth. Document it. Prove it. Make it irrefutable, and you too will become dangerous to those who admire us in lies and enslave us.
Do you think that we'll ever see a day when there's enough people in this country that understand that simple, basic, essential concept in money that things will change?
Well, I do. Yeah.
Do you?
As some of our callers tonight demonstrated that, while others, particularly the one that wanted to know where's the money going to come from, still don't get it. Where's it going to come from? Well, it's going to come from a group of private banks that are going to essentially make a huge profit for the privilege. That is the key to our problems, folks. And until we all get that, we're not going to make any change. And that's really what I hope we do.
And I read today that the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, may have to resort to printing money as a special drawing rights.
SDRs, yeah.
SDRs. Now, it's the same people that own the IMF.
Yeah, IMF was established. Right?
Same people.
Yeah, same people. Yeah. And IMF and Bank of International Settlements, although sometimes they operate at odds. But the IMF was given the ability to have special drawing rights from our Treasury. So when they write a special drawing right, they write, pay to the IMF one special drawing right. That allows them to go into our gold reserves and buy gold for $42.20 an ounce.
No, wait a minute. No, explain that a minute. Who are these people and what can they do? What can they do?
The International Monetary Fund has a right to draw on our Treasury at the rate of $42.20 an ounce, the official price of gold. You remember?
What do you mean draw on our Treasury?
Well, that's what the special drawing right allows them to do. So instead of saying we're going to give them $1 billion, it's much cheaper if you just say, oh, well, at $42.20, they're only taking $40 million. But in reality, what they've really gotten is gold that's worth $900 and change. But in their world, a special drawing right and $1 are pegged at $42.22.
And who owns the IMF?
Well, it's a member banks that own the Federal Reserve. They just own it on a bigger scale. This is a worldwide organization. Yes.
I cannot believe we the people. How did it ever get this screwed up?
Well, we weren't paying attention. We took our eyes off the ball in the, basically with World War I and World War II. We allowed the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and its owners to consolidate their control over the world's financial system. And then over the last 90 years, they've just reinforced that with cement. So now trying to get out of it is going to be ridiculous.
Oh, man. That's a very spooky story that you just laid out there, these special drawing rights.
Yes.
I'd never heard about that
Most
before.
people have not heard of them, and that's how the IMF draws its funds from its members, by special drawing rights.
And so the J.P. Morgans of the world, the Citigroups, the Goldman Sachs, the Shanghai Bank of China, it's the same people that are in there in this IMF?
Indeed. If you look at the history of World War I and II, especially World War II, under the trading with the enemy circumstances, the Bank of International Settlements and the IMF, actually more to the Bank of International Settlements, IMF was not yet in existence. The BIS actually sat around the table during World War II with representatives from the Bank of England, the Federal Reserve Bank, and the Bundesbank and the Bank of Italy. So, while on the battlefield they're killing each other by the thousands, inside the boardroom it's all business as usual. And, no crisis in the boardroom.
Always about the money, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Just follow the old money.
All you have to do.
They came on TV every day and told us, a depression is coming, a depression is coming, and people stopped spending money. We bought it. We said, okay, give the banks our money, give the private companies our money, anything to stay out of depression. And they saved Goldman Sachs, they saved GM, they saved Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Those companies are going to be making money hand over fist pretty soon. And the American taxpayer is going to be paying off that debt for the rest of our freaking lives, for 100 years or freaking more. And they want to say, they have the audacity to come on TV and say they saved us?
This is AIG, Goldman, and you know what? The Bavarian Illuminati, the Trilateral Commission, Goldman Sachs, and the Queen of England are not all bad.
Wow. Which side are you? We got to squeeze a couple of things
Sure.
in. All right, first of all, let's do this one.
In my opinion, the young generation of whites, blacks, browns, whatever else there is, you're living at a time of extremism, a time of revolution, a time when there's got to be a change. People in power have misused it, and now there has to be a change, and a better world has to be built, and the only way it's going to be built is with extreme methods. And I, for one, will join in with anyone, don't care what color you are, as long as you want to change this miserable condition that exists on this earth. Thank you.
Because it's all about that money. Monies. Google Marvin Bush, top security of Securicom of the World Trade Centers. Research Neil Bush. He the one that made the bill to try to sell a Porsche to Dubai. We already know who Jeb Bush. We already know who he is. His father gave Osama bin Laden, what, $3 billion to fight the Soviets? Then their grandfather, Prescott Bush, funded Hitler, Hitler's banker. Decent bank. First Union Bank, New York City. Yeah, locked up for trading with the enemy and treason. Then released because they based Illuminati's all together, man. Shit is funny, yo. People really been fucked, yo, and they getting rich and they getting rich. BPO is not even from this country, yo. British Petroleum. And they telling you can't stand on your land that your founding fathers fought, that our ancestors fought for? Huh? They'll lock us up, give you a grade, a class D, federal, what? What the fuck is that? A federal charge, a class D? I never heard of that. You giving shit when the kingpins ain't even getting out. Capone and them ain't get that shit. But you ready to give it to some people that's taking pictures? Wow. That's where they getting at, people. Yeah, they really blatant now. Because the internet fucking up all their monies. Fucking up their monies. This is what we leaving our children, people. $37 trillion the cost of the bailout this year. How many people know that?
That's my wedding money. Okay, if I spend no rural money, ain't no reason.
Shit is just like, wow, yo.
What's wrong with being
wow, people losing their jobs. 150,000 Americans lost their jobs in June. We only in the third day. Independence Day is tomorrow. I'm going hard for all the Americans, the independence. Yeah, fuck that shit, man. Built this country, yo. The Rothschilds, they print out money, Federal Reserve, private, they just been raping everybody. And it didn't even matter if you was white or black during them times, but that's what they portrayed out there. So they can have us dividing and conquer and stay away from that nigger and stay away from that cracker. All that ignorant shit, yo, why they stealing everything, yo. They was rich elite families, yo, and they still running shit to this day since the beginning of time, since the oil shit. We could have had free energy since 1920, Nikola Tesla. Wi-Fi, all that. J.P. Morgan and the Rockefellers and the Ford families, and they said, oh, no. When he demonstrated that with the Warcliffe Tower, and they seen that, and they said, well, where can we put the meter? J.P. Morgan words, oh, my peasants will have nothing free. Whoa, who was the peasants? I guess if he wasn't a, billion trillionaire, I guess he was talking to you. Us.